Regina Herzlinger is a business professor at Harvard. She's also author of Who Killed Healthcare. In the past, she's advised Senator John McCain during his last presidential campaign. Universal health care. This is something you believe in.
Absolutely.
You advise Republican candidates, so I think that would surprise a lot of people as a starting point.
Right.
What is the Republicans' obligation?
They have a plan. The plan is to create high-risk pools for sick people who otherwise couldn't afford health insurance, to give subsidies to the states that would run these high-risk pools, meaning groups for sick people. And the plan is good news. It's cheap. It only costs about $60 billion. Bad news, it only covers 3 million people.
Do you agree with the White House plan or the Republicans' plan?
Well, I think the White House plan is fantastic for getting closer to universal coverage. I like universal coverage. What chokes the American people is the price. Price tag is $1 trillion. $1 trillion is a heck of a lot of money, especially when we're in a recession. And I think the American people don't believe that the White House plan will control costs.
Do you think it could?
No, I don't.
If private insurance could fix this problem and address some of the concerns that you're raising, why haven't they done it?
Yeah. Well, the private insurance right now is not selling to consumers. They're selling to businesses or they're selling to governments. Businesses and governments don't have the same kinds of issues that consumers had. If they had to sell to a consumer and they screwed that consumer in the delivery of health insurance, specifically when that person got sick, they said, no, you're going to have to go through hell in order to get health care. There'd be tremendous uproar about that in a consumer-driven market.
Well, but what you're describing happens, though.
Absolutely.
You have people being denied.
Absolutely.
You have people going through lots of red tape.
So these things happen right now. My point is, in a consumer-driven market, they would happen much less. And the reason I say that is Switzerland has a consumer-driven market. They have universal coverage. All the Swiss are insured, but they buy their own health insurance. The Swiss have the highest rate of satisfaction with their health insurance in the world. Their administrative costs are 1/3 of what they are in the United States. The Swiss have 84 insurance companies. The country is the size of the state of Massachusetts in population. We have 15.
What's the disadvantage? Do they ration care over there?
They don't do that in Switzerland. The Swiss have more utilization. They see doctors more often. They have more hospital beds. They have more physicians. They have more MRIs. They also have some really cool insurance policies. Suppose you don't smoke. Suppose you start exercising 3 times a week. Suppose you change the things that are abusive in your life. You could buy a 5-year health insurance policy in Switzerland, which, if you stay healthy, it gives you 40% of your money back. In Massachusetts, that means if I stay healthy, I would get back $40,000 the end of 5 years. Would that motivate me to get healthy? You bet. You can't do that in an employer-based market because the employer doesn't think the employee is going to be around for 5 years.
The premise is, and for the purpose of this conversation, insurance companies are greedy. They're not going to want to cover people who are sick. They're going to want to make money instead. That means covering healthy people and denying claims, all sorts of things, all the things that we hear about.
Right.
Why won't that still happen?
Well, we need insurance reform. We need the government to say, look, here are the rules. You want to be in this business? Fine, here are the rules. If you see a sick person, you've got to cover them, and you cannot charge them an exorbitant kind of price.
And that's why you're the godmother of consumer-driven healthcare. Howard Schultz, incidentally, said he spends more money on healthcare than he does on coffee beans. He's the CEO of Starbucks. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.